Okay, this is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show, and we're trying to do a Hangout. And I've got so many things running on this old desktop computer. I'll be really surprised if it doesn't all just come crashing down. I've got um, the Hangout running, I've got webcam running, I've got the one version of software or software package to run my Fifi SDR so I can do some antenna testing. And I have a page open so that I can see what's being transmitted. Now I'm going to go to that page right now, and so that I can get logged in as a viewer. And I don't see a live feed yet, so I'll do a refresh. Probably a better way to get to the live feed. Okay, I have one viewer. I don't know if that's me or not. Okay, there. Now I'm seeing the live feed on YouTube. And so I'm going to click on that and see if I can get it to start working, because I need to monitor what's actually being transmitted, because sometimes it's not what I expected. Plus, it gets me to the chat page. Now, what I was hoping to do was to get another computer set up to do that, but I haven't been successful at doing that. So I'm doing everything on one old desktop. It's a dual core desktop. And so far it's hung in there. I think it's going to crash here. Not crash, but probably some things are going to lock up. Okay, I can now see that I've got a very out of focus screen. I guess it's really not out of focus. It's just low resolution. Okay, so that's coming down. And I'm going to try to reduce the size of that window and keep the chat window open as much as possible. Can't believe all the things I'm trying to do here. Um, I think my SDR console is program is struggling in the background there. Let me see. I've got 3 viewers. Probably a good thing I don't have too many. And I'm going to type in the chat. Hello from Tom. This is Tom Stiles. See if that'll work. Apparently that window is not big enough. I got to make it long, stretch it down some. And I should be able to move it over. And trouble is, when I moved it over, I don't see all of the chat window. Or maybe I do. Maybe it's just reduced. Okay, so that's working now. Now, what I wanted to do tonight is let me go back to, and excuse me, I'm still struggling with this whole concept of a Hangout. I'm going to try to do a screen share, and I found out that sharing an individual window doesn't work right, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to share the entire screen, which you will initially see this mirror effect. And I see my software that was running to control the Fifi SDR just disappeared and gave up. Um, okay, now I should be sharing my desktop. So I'm going to minimize this screen. This I'm watching. Okay, I'm not watching live though. Okay. Okay, so I'm watching semi-live myself as a monitor, and it gives me the chat screen. So now I'm going to go back, and I'm going to move this down a little bit out of the way. It's not enough. Okay, move it way down here. So I'm going to try to start again, because it just disappeared. Open SDR console version 3, which does work with my Fifi SDR. And it works pretty good. But it's struggling to stay alive along with everything else I'm trying to run on this little computer. Now, I don't know if you're seeing it on my screen, but way down here is the task manager. And you can see the CPU usage right now is 100%. But everything, I think, is working. Now, let's see, where is the page? Dun, 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 dun. One of these pages. Okay, I'm now seeing the, and you're going to see it in a few seconds because there is a delay. I am now seeing the YouTube page where the broadcast is going on, and also the chat. Now I notice there's nothing, doesn't look like there's anything in the chat, so that's okay. I want to get that working, but it doesn't have to work right now for this show. So anyway, I'm going to close this down temporarily. So now I should be just broadcasting the, okay, let me get this thing out of my way. It'll just be in my way. I should be just broadcasting my screen showing SDR-console version 3 running using my Fifi SDR, and it's connected to an antenna switch with 3 antennas. One, which I'm on right now, is a vertical 31-foot MFJ antenna that I did a review of. The next 2 are, well, excuse me, the next one is my old long wire antenna. It's just a wire strung up between the trees about 35 feet long, and it's just a piece of coax is connected to it. There's no impedance matching or anything. And then the last one is an in-fed 50-foot antenna. And right now you can see there's a bunch of stations that are on, I'm on 31 meters approximately, and they're coming in pretty strong. Many of them are local, or maybe all of them are local. The one you see in the center, ooh, I see some, oh, that's cool. It's part of the screen's missing over here. See if I can paint it back. I'm on 9.475, which is out of Lebanon, Tennessee, and it's pretty strong. The one over here could be very close to me. I believe it's a Spanish-speaking station as well as this one over here. So what I'm going to do, or attempt to do, is I'm going to switch antenna and see if there's a big difference between vertical, just a piece of long wire, and an in-fed long wire. So I'm on the vertical right now. I'm going to switch to open, no antenna, but there's no antenna. So this Fifi SDR is so sensitive, just the little piece of coax that goes between the Fifi and the switch is giving me some pretty good signals. Now, that switch may not be the best switch in the world. It's an old Delta 4-position switch. And I did a review of it where I took it apart, and you could see that the switching mechanism wasn't working perfectly. So I could be getting some signal bled in even when I'm in the common position, which is supposedly the open position. Okay, so now I'm going to move over to my long wire antenna. So that's just a long wire antenna. You can see several of the signals jumped up, and including the background noise. And now we'll go to the 50-foot in-fed antenna. And the only thing I noticed, I looks like I lost the signal when I did that, or the noise level went down. Now, each of these antennas are different. They got different coax, different lengths of coax going to them. So there's a whole bunch of variables here. And that's the beauty of using an SDR, is you can see visually what's going on with these antennas. And they're facing different directions. Like the first one was a vertical. The other two are facing northwest and southwest. This one right now is right now, this should be on Lebanon, Tennessee, which is almost due north of me. So right now, the antenna I'm using is an in-fed, and it's in my front yard, and it's facing northeast. The next one is a long wire, and you can see the noise level went down, and all the signals went down too. The long wire facing southwest. And then open, see the signals almost go away, and then back to the MFJ vertical, which is 31 feet high. So that's the beauty of using the this type of setup, where I'm using an SDR and software to show what's going on. And by doing this show, I'm also recording what's going on, so I can go back and look at it later. Now, let's try going to a different frequency. So we're at 31 meter band. Let's go down to WWV at 5 megahertz. Okay, before I do that, I'm going to take a peek at what's going on. And I see I've got one person in the chat, Jeff, and he's from Groves, Texas. Thank you, Jeff, for tuning in. If I go back to another screen, and what's the beauty right now is I'm broadcasting, I think, my entire computer screen. So you can see what I'm looking at also at times, or all the time, really. There's another screen here someplace. Oh, here's the Google Hangout screen, which, of course, will give you that mirror effect. And I got 8 viewers. Okay, 9 viewers. Okay. Now, granted, I didn't announce or schedule this particular Hangout that far in advance. I just thought I was going to go for it. I scheduled it about 20 minutes in advance, and here we are. Now, I have a question for the viewers, specifically Jeff, who's in the chat room, or anybody else is in the chat room, a chat window, or what do you want to call it, which is over here, right over here. Let me close this out of the way. That's confusing. Over here is Jeff and myself. And the question I have, if Jeff can give me some feedback, is how were you notified about the event? How did you find out about the event? And like I said, I'm asking everybody that. Anybody can give me a response in the chat room. That's one thing I don't understand right now, is how I can notify people in advance to an event. I mean, I'm not sure how that works. I've been away from Hangout so long that I've forgotten things. So if somebody can chime in here and give me an indication, um, that would be great. I'm looking at my notes now. Okay, what I noticed. Oh, Jeff, I just came and I'm missing part of the screen there, Jeff. Or it's not Jeff, it's somebody else. There we go. I just came into in Illinois. Happened on it on YouTube. That's Mike's response. Um, I usually check out your channel weekly. So I guess, like I did, you went to my channel and then you saw that window that says there's a live event going on. But I'm trying to figure out, oh, so Jeff says he gets a notification on his phone when I go live and when I post a new video. Okay, so I guess Jeff has his subscription to YouTube to my channel set up so that it will send him notifications. Now, and I'm sorry, I probably pronounced your name wrong. Malika, that's probably wrong, um, says you can try cross media to announce in advance. Yes, what I typically do, and I don't know if it worked this time, is I have it send a post to Google Plus and to Twitter. So, and I don't know if that worked. That's one thing I'm trying to find out if anybody came here via those channels. The other thing is, I don't see, I got an email notification from YouTube. Cool. Okay, thank you. Again, you probably had set up your YouTube account and my subscription to notify you anytime I post video or apparently post that I'm doing a happening. Okay, thanks, Jeff, for your information, and thanks, LT32253. Okay, the other thing that I'm struggling with is a method of monitoring the Hangout page, the chat page, on another computer. I've tried that all afternoon, was unsuccessful trying to use something small like a tablet or a mini laptop. The only other resort I've got is to use a full-up size laptop. Okay, Gary, thanks for the report about being notified on the phone and your iPod. So I guess it is getting out. And here is Andy from the UK. All right. And that's the other thing. I'm glad Andy came in there and said he was from the UK. That's the other thing that I've got to decide is when to do a hangout, when I expect or hope that people will contribute. Because I have subscribers that are throughout the world, and getting the right time zone so that people are available, it's going to be difficult. Uh, I know Jill's, when he does his hangouts, he does his local time about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is not a terrific time for me. I actually am an early riser because I used to work with people and companies in Europe. And so I got used to getting up early to kind of be on their time zone. So I get up about 4 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time here in Florida. So that would work out okay. Oh, 32253 is from Grovetown, Georgia, and it's raining like heck here. Boy, it's been doing that a lot here in Florida. Not tonight though, but the first time. Okay, let me go back to what I was going to show you. I'll shrink this down so that's not in the way. I'm surprised this old desktop, it's a dual core Dell uh, desktop that someone gave me, and I use it in my workshop opposed to my quad core that's up in my office. So what I'm showing you right now, this is the program called, excuse me, SDR console, and among other radios that it will control this FiFi SDR I have, which seems to be working pretty good. And what I was trying to show everyone is the fact that you can, I wish I had a, an actual timer somewhere that would tell me how long I've been babbling. But anyway, um, by using this software and the FiFi, I can do testing on my cables, on my antennas and stuff like that, because I get this nice visual display that's real time, well, semi-real time. So for instance, and I'll do it again, right now, I'm on a 31-foot vertical antenna made by MFJ. And I will go to the common position, which is theoretically no antenna, but it does get some kind of signals bleeding in. So you can see the noise level just disappeared. And then I'll switch to just a long wire a long wire with, connected by coax. Nothing special about that. It's about 35 feet long, doing pretty good. And then this is uh, right now, and you see the noise level go up and the signal levels go up slightly. This is an in-fed 50-foot horizontal antenna. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you tonight as far as what you can use these SDRs for as far as testing your antenna system. And right now it's on 9.475, which is a station out of Lebanon, Tennessee, which comes in quite good here in Florida. And then these big boomers on the side here, 9.565, and on this side, 9.420 maybe. Those are Spanish stations. Oh, you see that station zip through there? That's a phenomenon that I've heard about, where you get this walking signal every once in a while. But anyway, so these are all, to me, strong stations. Now, if I wanted to, and I think I I had that page open too. Boy, I got a lot of things open. I'm surprised. No, maybe I closed. I closed that. What I had was the website uh, short dash wave, which gives you a schedule of what's on right now or in the future, either one. Okay, let me go back so that I can see the chat page again. I think it's this page. Yep. And see what, see how we have now. We got Mike Close. What SDR are you using? Oh, I'm using a FiFi SDR that was given to me about a week or so ago. It's $150. It's similar to other SDRs in that price range, but it has a narrow bandwidth as far as what you can display on the screen at one time. It's only about, I think, like 500 kilohertz or something like that. But otherwise, it's very sensitive. It doesn't get blasted by local medium wave stations. I see Jeff has to go. Thanks for stopping by, Jeff. And so that's the SDR I'm using right now. I've tested probably half a dozen SDRs, $50, $20, $5, all kinds. typically you have to pay more to get a good SDR that will work on the shortwave band and will not get bleed over from the medium wave band. I guess it was last month, I reviewed one that was sent to me to review. It cost about $42, comes out of Japan, and bleed over from the medium wave bands. It really was hurting. It did a pretty good job, except for that, but it was hurting. And you had to do some tweaking of both it and the software. Mike, SDR Play is the one I'd love to have. That's the one I would love to have. I've seen a lot of people using the SDR Play radio, and it is real wideband. It will show you a spectrum of up to 8 megahertz. That would be ideal. This particular one I'm using, I can only out half a megahertz on the display. So yes, I would love to test the SDR Play. Now, I have been trying to get working with the Fifi, the SDR Uno software that was written for the SDR Play. Supposedly, one gentleman showed me that he got it working with this Fifi, and it has a lot of nice features too. But I have tried for about 3 days now with a lot of inputs from all my subscribers and viewers, and I still cannot get it to work 100%. There's something basically wrong. It says it does not see the driver, but it kind of controls the radio in a limited fashion. But I may just have to break down and buy an SDR Play. Okay, let me go back to the software. Once again, I'm really surprised my old desktop is hanging in there and doing all these things simultaneously. And you can see some of the stuff is missing over here. Some of the boxes are missing. It's not refreshing the screen continuously. Um, and I can turn this up, I think. Look at that there. See that box was missing?
These classic Radio Ranch broadcasts addressed not only current events of the day, but also Holy Spirit-inspired teachings straight from the Bible. These Radio Ranch broadcasts are in addition to Pastor Peter's Sunday pulpit messages.
Okay, I don't know if you can hear that. My environment right at the moment is I'm out in my workshop, and the only cooling out here is a wall air conditioner, which is very noisy. So I'm using a noise canceling microphone to try to keep down that air conditioner noise. I can barely hear the radio. That air conditioner is so loud. So you may not have been able to hear it, even though I turned it up. You may not have been able to hear it. So let's go back to the chat screen, see what's going on there. Okay, there's the chat screen again. Oh, so 2 people report that they could hear the SDR. That's good. I kind of moved close to the speaker, not real close, still about 2 feet away, and turned the audio on the SDR way up. So I'm glad you could hear that. It's another piece of feedback that I need when I start doing a lot of these Hangouts, what works and what doesn't work. Let me go to the other screen And of course, all of you should be seeing my screens because I'm sharing everything. Uh, okay, let's go to the Google Hangout screen and I can see the number of viewers. Okay, I have 10 viewers now, and I didn't announce this Hangout very far in advance, so it doesn't surprise me that not too many people showed up. Plus, the time of day is another problem. I was discussing that earlier, trying to figure out when's a good time to do a Hangout where I hope that people will contribute so that I have more viewers. And I did get some feedback just a few minutes ago from the people that are in the chat that they got notification, I guess, in their YouTube setup for my channel. They turned on notifications and it sent them a notification that I was doing a Hangout. Now, the one thing I didn't ask, which I should have asked these people, um, when you got notification, by any chance, I didn't set up the event until 7:15 for a 7:30 event. I was wondering if anybody, by any chance, got a notification of the event before it started. And granted, like I say, I didn't time it very well to give everybody advance notice. What I plan to do in the future is I will plan it um, at least a day ahead, unless there's something that came up that I want to broadcast. Okay, N0SSC didn't get notification. I just randomly stumbled upon it when looking at my subscriptions on my iPhone. Okay, thanks for the feedback, SSC. Okay, you can now see because I'm screen sharing my entire Windows environment. So you're seeing this mirror image here over on the left-hand side because I'm looking at myself, so to speak. So I'm going to close that down. I just wanted to see this. This is the only place I can see the number of viewers. So let me shut this, not shut it down, just minimize it. Okay, Mike said he didn't get a notification either. Yeah, I think uh, those guys that didn't get notification, I think it might be because you haven't set up your subscription, and particularly you can do it on an individual basis per channel. You can set in a particular channel like AMRAD 88. You can set it up so that you will get notification when that channel either post a no video or apparently now I'm finding out post that he's going to do a hangout. So that's, if you want to turn on that option, you can do that. And like I say, you can do that on an individual channel basis. You don't have to do it on all of your subscriptions. Okay, Milika, and I apologize for if I pronounce your name wrong, said he just set up notifications. Okay, good. And 0091 Joey says yes. I'm not sure what he's saying yes to, but yes is usually positive. And I got a thumbs up from N0SSC. So things are working. I'm going to end this. I typically will try to keep these Hangouts at least under an hour and most likely under 30 minutes. And for the people that hadn't seen my testing earlier this week, the purpose of doing a Hangout, there's a couple of reasons. One is my screen capture software that I normally use to do a screen capture of like like this software that's running in the background here, uh, is only good for 10 minutes because it captures everything in memory and it runs out of memory and then it dumps the file so you don't save anything. So that's a limitation. If I'm doing testing or demonstration, it's hard to restrict it to 10 minutes. So I thought I would go back, because I did it about a year ago. I did some Hangouts. Thought I would go back and see if Hangouts work any better than they did a year ago. And apparently they are, but it's still some things that don't work right. So that's one reason I want to start doing Hangouts. The other reason, I might have a situation where I want feedback while I'm doing the demonstration or the repair or whatever from my viewers. And again, I need to schedule those things far enough in advance so people know that it's coming up. And for instance, if I'm demonstrating, say I'm demonstrating the software, which I'm not doing right now, I'm demonstrating using the software to test antennas and antenna cables. But say I was demonstrating the software, and this software has a ton of features. That's going to take a while to do. So I could be going through a demonstration and I could glance back at the chat window and see if people have any questions about the program that I didn't go over. So I get that interaction, which is what I'm looking for. So that's the idea of doing Hangouts. And I don't really plan to do scheduled Hangouts. It's just when the opportunity arises that I need to do screen capture, show, and I need to do it for more than 10 minutes, then I'll do a Hangout. Or we can even copy Jill's, who has a show on shortwave. He does Hangouts of him scanning the bands. We could do one of those every once in a while, but not on a repetitive basis. So those are the things I want to try. Um, we got 0091 Joey in there. He says yes. I'm not sure what the yes is for. And I may be missing. No, I'm at the bottom of the chat screen, so I'm not missing anything. And the other thing I was trying to do, and I worked on it all this morning, was I was trying to set up a separate device, a little mini laptop that I have or a tablet, so that I could use it to monitor the chat screen and not have that running on the computer that I'm doing the broadcast. Because what I'm having to do now is jump back and forth. I didn't get that working. The next thing I could try is a separate laptop. Gary says, I got it 2 minutes after I found it, and that was about 10 minutes late. Okay, thanks, Gary. David Watts says, hey, mate. Hi, David. And then David says, 99 plus notifications there. You sure are popular. Not sure what he means by that. 99 notifications. Huh. And then I've got Frank Palmer. And let's go over to the other screen to see how many people we have listening. We have 14 viewers. Well, that's great. I'm really surprised that I have more than about 3 or 4 because I didn't really set this up that far in advance. And it seems to be working. Let me close that screen down. Not close it, but minimize it. Mike, I don't think there's any limit as to the number of viewers or chatters. I don't think there's any limit because some time ago, probably a year and a half ago, I used to watch a live hangout by another gentleman on a different subject. It was on computer repairs. And you could see how many people were watching at the time. And he got numbers up to 200. And I know I would never get numbers that high. So at least you can go to 200. The bell at the top of your browser says you have more than 90. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, David. Now, what that is on YouTube, I get notifications, but I also get emails, and they're one and the same. So I respond to the emails. I don't typically respond to the notifications that come on YouTube. So that's why that number is, it's actually 99 plus. And so I've already responded to all of those notifications via email, and the only way to clear that is to open that up and look at the 99, and then it clears the count. Okay. Yeah, Mike. The beauty of this for me is I don't have a screen capture program that will capture more than 10 minutes of audio and video. So I'm using the Hangouts because you can capture up to 8 hours. 8 hours. Gosh, that would be a real long time of video because it's capturing it up at YouTube. Now it does take depending on how long the show was, it does take a while for YouTube to process the video, and it will be available immediately, but it'll be low resolution. That kind of confused me at first. The first couple I did the other day, I'm like, why is it only 380 resolution? And then somebody told me that you have to wait. Sometimes it takes 24 hours for it to finish processing, and then it's back to your full resolution, which in my case is 720p, which is what I want. Okay. So, gosh, we're getting close to an hour. I think I will shut this down. It looks like it worked. The big question is, will it get saved? Now, I did a Hangout last year with a gentleman that had a very expensive radio. It was I believe, an ICOM radio, cost about $4,000. It was actually, I would call it a piece of test equipment. So it was very unique for a hobbyist to have that. And he volunteered to do a hangout with me, showing his radio because I would never own one of those radios. I never could afford to own one of those. And so it worked. The hangout was great, and it was saved on YouTube because it does automatic saves, and 90 something viewers viewed it, and then it disappeared while it was doing the process. That's the risk, is you could lose your show when YouTube does the process. And that was a year ago, so maybe they fixed the problem, whatever caused the crash. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Let me take a look real quick one more time and see how many people were out there right now. There are 11 people out there, so I think we got about a maximum of 12 viewers, maybe more because I wasn't watching that screen all the time. And I'm gonna go back and stop sharing. And now it should go back to my webcam, which right here, there's my notes I've been taking. And that's another feature that Hangout gives me. It gives me the capability of switching between my webcam and screen sharing, which my screen sharing software does not allow me to do that. So that's another advantage. So I could be um, showing you something, showing you a book or something, and then go to screen share and show you where you can get the book. Um, or I could have a brochure or something about a radio, and then I could go to my screen and show you where you could buy the radio, for instance. So that's the other advantage of Hangout. So I think this worked. Let me see here. You check something real quick. Oh, okay. I thought this software that I'm running to the SDR console software that's running the Fifi radio. I thought it got hung up because it ran out of CPU, but it's still hanging in there. Let me go back to where I was. Okay, I've got the task manager running also. So I got the Hangout software running. I've got a web page so I can view the chat room running. I've got this SER console running, and I've got the webcam software running. That's another thing I got running. And I've got the task manager running. And right now it's showing that the CPU is maxed out at 100%. So I'm surprised it hasn't crashed, but I do see every once in a while the SDR console software freeze when I've got the broadcast, Hangout broadcast window open because it's showing video, live video. So I guess that's taking a lot of CPU. Okay, that's my attempt. Um, I'm happy so far with what's happened. It's taken me 3 or 4 days and the help of several people to get this working, and I appreciate all the help, and I appreciate you coming in tonight and watching me stumble along. So thanks for watching. I'll check the chat room one more time before I leave. And let's see. Mike says, thanks for the tests. Until next time. And Joey says, very fun and informative. Okay. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.